Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial video. This is a sort of like a mini tutorial within a tutorial. There is actually a tutorial for the whole of the wolf, and this background is going to be included as part of that one, but I'm also doing it just as a standalone video tutorial. I might do a standalone written tutorial for it at some point. So this is my wolf. The background he was on was quite dark. Yeah, literally sort of, I'd say like a real dark green background with some light coming through the trees, quite backlit. And I was quite sort of inspired by some of the ochre-y colours coming through on his fur here, which I haven't put in yet. Basically the wolf is it's brought to about 80% completion, sort of like the face needs a bit more work, this needs a bit more work. I haven't worked the chest hardly at all, I haven't really done the legs either, because I wanted to stop at this point to get the background in. Now I wanted to create some sort of like, say, goldeny reddish orange background that went with the colours in this fur. So I remembered this photo that I took in the Forest of Dean one cold morning last year. I absolutely loved it, and these are the colours that I was looking for. So I've had a bit of a play around with it, and this I've just dropped my wolf in over the top, so you can sort of see there. Now I don't think I'm going to go as detailed as this because I don't want to detract from the wolf, so this is kind of, I'm going in inspired by these colours, so it might just be quite a mottled effect with the colours. I might put a hint of some trees in, I'm not sure at this point. So let's see what comes out at the other end, and then, like I say, you might understand a little bit of how my creative head works as I go along. So I've got some colours here. Obviously I haven't actually got a really a yellowy colour. I do have, what have I got there? I've got an orange extra dark, and I've also got a Hansa yellow tint. So these are the palette range that I've pulled out. So I've got the black, white, the tin. I've got a couple of red ochres there, iron oxides, iron oxide shade, burnt sienna, permanent red extra dark, and a raw umber extra dark there. So I'm going to just go in and just see. I want to put in my oranges first of all, and then we will take it from there. So I've got my soft tools here ready to go, apart from I seem to have just decided to misplace one of my main sponges. Never fear, I shall just, here it is. I had it all ready to go, that's why. Okay, so first of all, I'll pop the reference image up here to the side of the video when I'm doing the editing. So I'm going to go in first of all. Obviously I haven't done any of the outside edges of the wolf yet because I knew I was going to be going in and popping in this highlight. So I'm going to be quite bold. I'm going to go in with this, this is the burnt sienna. And wish me luck, let's just see how this goes. Obviously that's gone on quite bright straight away. So this is going to be a case of adding it in, I think, and then softening back. So I'm just using the sponge, just using the sponges that came with the actual Pan Pastel. And just move that a little bit there for you. I'm just going to play with this just to start with. I'm going to mix in some of this Hansa tint. Yeah, it's not going to bring it up as bright as I want it to be, so I'm just wondering at this point, I might just switch. Get that back in there. Might be a case where I might just have to pop in either a little bit of normal pastel there. Yeah, that's not bright enough at all for what I'm looking for. Never fear, we shall carry on. Because these are still the colours that I want to go in. So I'm using that reference image still as kind of a inspiration, as reference, let me say. A little bit of that in there. And to be honest, like I say, I want this softer than we're seeing in that original reference image. so a little bit in here. I might need to switch tools. I might be alright. Looks okay at the moment. I don't want to get too much in on the wolf. So let me just bring in one of my soft tools here, just so I can get this colour in here. That's better. Just soften it back a little bit. Okay, let's blend that up. A little bit of the orangey tone. That's actually gone on quite nicely. Bring some of this red down through here. A little bit more of the orangey tone just in through there. Actually, that is quite nice. I do like that. Right, okay. So we're off and running. I think I'm going to stick to using my tool, to be honest. Let's pick up some more of this burnt sienna. And I'm just going to work it across. I've got a nice line coming across here. Like I say, when I go back in and do the wolf, I can pull that lovely sharp, fluffy side of his backlit fur. And like I say, I'm going to bring some of these colours through into the wolf itself once I've got it in. I've just got it to the point now where I need these colours down before I can push it any further. So the original reference photo I did take, oh, a beautiful day. I just happened to be out with the dogs in the forest here in the Forest of Dean, and just seemed to catch it just right. The sun was just lifting behind the trees. It was a coolish morning as well. So, oh, it was just stunning, and I always knew that I wanted to include this in a picture at some point. I'm probably going to do an actual attempt to do, if I get the right colours, attempt to do a full portrait, landscape portrait, using that reference photo. Okay, bring in a little bit more of this extra dark. You see, I'm just looking at the reference photo. I don't know yet whether I'm putting those trees in or not, but I'm putting the hint of the basis. I just want to break it up a little. I might put the trees in, I might be brave. And we've got little hints here then of forest floor. So there I'm using the orange extra dark. It looks quite green when I put it in compared to colours that are already going down. I like those a tiny bit as well. Okay, I think I just need to focus on getting my colours down, and then we can come back in afterwards and break it up. So some of this lovely red down here, and then it will pull forward. Then as we work our way forward, it will come into pretty much into darkness, and there will be some hints of greens, but I might pop those in with colour pencil at the end. It is literally just like painting, I guess, with a palette knife, putting these down. You can cut your sponges to different shapes. To help you get into different areas, create different textures and shapes actually on on your pastel mat or on your surface, whatever you're working on. Okay, I'm going to take it darker now. This is with the red iron oxide, extra dark. Let me just twiddle my camera down. I was going to start on the top area, but they seem to have gone in under here first of all. So I might as well just continue this down. Like I say, I think I'm going to go in with pencils just to bring up the extra lights where I haven't quite got. I thought I actually had like a really nice bright yellow in my store of pastels, but obviously I do not. Lots of blues, lots of greens. I thought there was one in my landscape range, but obviously I was wrong. Okay, so just using the soft tool, just literally you can see I'm just placing down. And so I'll need to go in with the Pan Pastel later on just to lift some of the highlights in areas. This is working really nicely. So again, if you're doing the actual whole wolf tutorial, you can put in whatever background you like. You can just leave it plain if you want to. I was just thinking there. Or you can go for something like this. It's completely up to you as to what feel you want to give your wolf. As I say, if you do decide to use the Pan Pastel, you can just see here, oh, what a nice clean sponge. What have we got? There we go. Sorry, I'm just going quiet. I usually go quiet when I'm trying to just concentrate on an area. Just adding some little touches. Highlight in through here. Now, as I came forward, I say I'm going to take this quite dark now, so I'm going to go in with the raw umber extra dark and then even touches of the black as I work my way all the way forward here. So I'm just going to use this big sponge just to get it down a bit quicker. It'd be much easier if I wasn't videoing because I'd be able to spin my paper around, but as I'm videoing, a little hint of that up through here as well. Like I say, with these Pan Pastel, the application tools, depending on which one you're using, it gives a slightly different, obviously, shape and effect as you put the pastel down. It's a bit awkward, so I just need to come up to that edge. Also trying to make sure that I haven't got my head in the way of the camera. I hope I haven't. Take this all the way across here. You need to get a little bit of little hints of the orange up through there. The tail is beautiful orange in here when I come to put that in. You see how fast the pan pastels can fill that space. So what could be quite daunting if you're looking at it with to do with colour pencils, you can just achieve getting something down really fast using the pans. So okay, I'm going to switch over now. Now I'm going to bring in some black. My finger's going to be a bit of a mess after this. Maybe I should have put some gloves on. So pop in some black. And again later on when I've done the legs I can bring some foliage, tiny hints of leaves and foliage just up over those feet as well. Which would be nice. Just need to catch the tops of these little mounds with some of the orange highlights as well. Where are we? And as I said before about popping some foliage just up over the feet, there's some lovely hints of green. The sun's catching the green moss down here as well. I'm going to pop that in with pencils at the end as well. Okay, right, that's kind of giving me the, well, it's just the base layer at the moment, giving me the impression of what I was after. Just going to go in with the orange again, a little bit more, and also some going to mix it with some of this red. Just need to get it catching the tops of some of these. I need to just change over to my pointy tool. Bring little hints. Take it a tiny bit darker. Some little hints down through here. See, I'm hardly using any pressure here, but the slightest little impression. And it marks. Some hints of lines going across here. I'm also going to pop in a little bit more of this orange extra dark, even though it does look like it's green. More just to break up the forest floor there. It's quite volcanic, I suppose, this way it's appearing. Okay, I'm just going to take out my greens a second. in here, I've actually got, which one is that? That is the bright yellow-green tint. That's the one I'm after just here. Let me just mix this with orange and see what kind of... There's still not going on quite as bright as I would like it to. Even though I'm just placing in areas. Just jotting some of the greens in through here now. Just using a few different greens here just to break up. It's just catching the light as well. So obviously all of this foliage really in the background is green, but just where the sun coming up happens to have the sunrise has actually cast a golden glow over the whole area. Right, so back now to my oranges. Oh, it's a shame that I haven't got that lovely yellowy colour. I do have some normal pastels I could just pop a touch in, but not really been a Pan Pastel background demo, is it? Okay, and then touch down here, just black, just to give some texture. Some of these shapes coming up from the foreground. All these little mounds need their highlights popping in with pencil. pretty much as far as we're going to take this at the moment. Yeah. Tiny bit more over here. So what we want to do is still keep the focus on the wolf, so it's got to reflect and complement him. That's the overall intention. And then later on, so we can go in with which pencils? Let me just grab here. I'm going to grab a couple of Pablos here and just kind of match up. See in here where I want a little bit more of a golden glow coming down through there. I can just bring it through with my pencils, or you could go in there with pastel pencils. And then you can put some hints down here. Texture going in. Just colour match basically your pencils to the some of the pastels that you've already popped in. So I've got a little hair there. You can start to break up some of this little foliage that you've hinted at, and also use that highlighting tool as well. So again, all these colours here that you've got, that you've used in Pan Pastel, just match them up with your pencils as well. She says. Just looking for a nice match on one of these oranges. Here we go. So you can just lift and pop in some hints of all the ferns that are here, just to give it a little bit more texture. And this is sort of like the horizon here that we're just creating through the trees. To create that lovely backlit effect. I think so. I'm going to probably do the same sort of technique all the way at the top as well, and possibly say put in a hint of those trees. You see here the pencils go down lovely. You just break through the Pan Pastel beautifully. Okay, so we're just going to work the whole area, popping in highlights, a little bit of texture, not too much because like I say we don't want to detract from the wolf. So I'm going to colour match all these up. It'll speed up now and come back to me. We will be probably flipping them upside down to work the top part, but I'm quite happy so far with the results we're getting there. And like I say, then down here on where we've started to put the hint of some foliage in as well, we'll just come through and we'll lift some of that as well with hints of The green highlights on the outer edges of the mounds. A few little hints of leaf through here as well. So just be patient. Like I say, it's quite organic, literally. We're just going with the feel of it, not overwhelming the wolf, who still wants to stay centre stage here. Okay, time to stop what you're doing. This bit is speeded up for a reason. I decided at this point that I was trying to get in those yellowy orangey colours with my pencils, and it should have gone down with my pastels. So I'm showing you this, and you can pick it up again at 40 minutes into the video. This next couple of minutes, obviously my head's in the way as well, which wasn't great for the film, but I'm going to go over this yellow and orange because I decided to go away and order. I'll explain in a couple of minutes on the video. I went away and ordered the actual pastels rather than them going down way too dark. This is where I regret not buying the full set of Pan Pastels when I had the choice. Had the chance rather, and I just bought a few mini sets, putting them together thinking I had everything I needed. So what I need to do now is fill in all of those blanks with the pastels so that I've got them here, because this really proved to me that I definitely did not have the right colours. So fast forward to 40 minutes, or you can just watch the next minute out and just see that, you know, I was trying to put it all in with pencil. Yes, I'm popping in the black little details of some of the bushes there, but you can do that later on anyway. So pause, fast forward, re-edit, or just watch me making an error, basically. But at least I didn't cut it out. I wanted to show you how my mind works, and that I had the discipline to stop and go away and get the right tools for the job. Okay, pick you back up at 40 minutes in. Thanks. Okay, so I actually coming back to this wolf after a 2 or 3 day break now. Basically, because I'm working on the anthracite pastel map, which is quite dark, my orange shade was actually coming out really dark, and the yellow tint that I had was just not hitting the mark with me. So I was quite good. I stopped the work in progress and I went away and ordered a couple more colours, and as you can see now, the new orange, which is literally orange, and I also got a red iron oxide as well now. They're just matching in. There is a yellow that's come a Hansi yellow, but as you can see that is way too bright. It might be okay mixed with this, but I just was not achieving that lovely orangey yellow hue under the wolf and behind the wolf. So, new pastels. So I'm going to go back in now with these new pastels and just check them out. So I'm going to pick up some of this orange first of all, just go in here, and still it is going on, just dabbing it in. It's not going on quite as pure as I would like. I'll just build it up a little bit. It is, there we go, it's starting to, it's just giving that nice extra bit of glow that I was looking for in there. So I'll bring it all the way across now. I'm yet to decide whether I'm just going to take this up to like a soft, blend the orange back into a lovely note, go up into a soft grey background at the top, whether I'm putting the trees in or not. So I've still got that in my mind. So anyway, pop some of this lovely bright orange across here. I think that's going to, yeah, it's lifted it so much just popping that in. I'm going to risk a tiny bit of mix of this yellow just to see what it comes together with, like in here. It's actually okay. I was worried because it's such a bright cold yellow, but when it mixes with this orange, oh, it's quite nice. So it's just about having a feel and a play with your pan pastels. And obviously, you know, the pastel mat being so dark, until I started applying this, I wasn't quite sure how much the anthracite background was going to affect the overall result, but now I know. And also, so I've got this lovely red iron oxide here as well. That's the dark. I've got the extra dark shades, but now I can go in with this lovely pure iron oxide, and this again is going to help give that lovely glow that I was looking for. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. I was getting quite frustrated, to be honest. I thought, oh, I can achieve it with pencil, but I didn't want to. I wanted this lovely pan pastel to be doing the work. So I'm just going to repeat this. I'll put little dabs of it everywhere, just to balance it out. I'm kind of working from the photo, but also sort of just working imagination as well. And going, like I say, with the feel of the piece. Definitely a lesson there of patience. It is worth it sometimes just going, right, stop, even if you move over and start working on a different piece of artwork. Or just take a break for a couple of days. I mean, luckily I was away on a workshop for a couple of days. So now I've been able to come back to this, and the pastels were delivered in the meantime. So quite perfect timing. A little dab down through here just to brighten this. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I'm looking forward to getting the legs of this wolf done as well. And that tail. A few dabs of this yellow lights through here as well. Right, I'm really pleased that I was patient enough to do that. I think otherwise it might just have really gone on and bothered me. I mean, be one of those little niggles of, I wish I'd just done that. Waited a couple for the sake of a couple of days. Yeah, that's so much better. There's a lovely soft glow there now. Backlighting the wolf. Perfect. Okay, so I need to make a decision now. I was debating whether just to flip this upside down. I think I'm going to turn it upside down. Now I'll be working quite quickly, so I'll speed it up again. I'm just going to put in, as you can see, I'll get the reference photo up again. As you can see here, let me just get the reflection off. It's pretty much like a pale grey sky at the top. So this is the enhanced one here with a little bit of a soft glow. So what I think I'm going to do is literally just pop in. Imagine the trees aren't there. I'm just going to pop in just a lovely haze of golden light going up into this greyish gold sky. Enlarge that for you as well. And then I'll think about, do I put some trees in? Do I just like do a little mottled effect, a hint of a trees? We'll see where we go with that one, but that's what I'm going to do next. So we're going to spin it round and speed up a little bit. Okay. So we've got the all of the background covered now. Still at this point I was undecided whether I was going to be going back in and adding those trees. Obviously if you've seen the finished scan of the wolf, you'll see that at some point I did manage to just sort of go with that. So I've slowed it down again here. We've got that lovely area covered, so I've just picked up my soft tools again now, and that just means the sponge gives good coverage, but as you can see it's a little bit mottled, not quite as smooth as I'd like it. So I find the soft tools really do help to make it look really soft and almost buttery with the application, really creamy. So I've gone back in, and you can see also I've picked up that bright handsy yellow that I was showing you earlier on, and I've pulled that into the palette as well now. So I'm mixing the handsy yellow with the handsy yellow tint, which is the light one, and also possibly a touch of the orange going in there as well. And let's say all three mixed together, almost like paints. You can put one on top of the other. You can blend on your soft tool. You'll find if you say go into your soft tool with your hands are light, the light tint, the light colour first, and then scoop it straight across the handsy yellow, which is the bright one. The bright one will go down first, but it'll be the lighter one that comes out on top. Same, basically the opposite way that you pick them up. So you will get a lovely soft light mix. Have a play. And like you say, you can wipe your soft tools off sideways onto a piece of kitchen towel. That just cleans them off as well. And you can go in and erase them if you like as well. You can cut through with an eraser. So there's lots of things that you can do with Pan Pastels. So here, like I say, I'm just rotating and mixing through, softening up some of those areas, blending upwards and downwards, adding in some more orange as well to give a lovely glow as I go out towards the outer edge of the picture. A bit of a, I mean, in the original reference photo, it's like sun rays coming down behind his head. I'm not going to be going as far as putting that in because it's just really going to overcomplicate the whole picture. I think I might use that effect at some point in the future, but just to create a landscape on its own merits without any other figure being in there. This main focus is still, hopefully, on the wolf. So I'm just using some of that Hansa light tint up across into that grey and the white that we popped down right at the beginning. And you see that area that I've worked at the top, it's really covered because we're working on the anthracite pastel mat. It's quite a dark area to cover. So using these tools just gives you much more precision, and you can place it in there. You can see as well they're great for just going up to the edge of the fur on the actual wolf itself without taking it too far over the edge. If you don't go far enough up, then you get like a halo effect around the wolf, around whichever figure, if you're putting in a background after your figure is in place. And I see a lot of people make that mistake, and especially when they do it with soft pastels and they use their finger or blending tool to go up and around the head, it really does create a halo effect. So if you can be brave enough just to take it over, a tiny bit over the edge, that's why I didn't work that that fur right on the outside of the ears and the cheeks and around the body. Remember right at the beginning I said I'm leaving this bit till at the end because I knew that the background was most likely to be going in and I'd be flicking the highlight fur out. So you can see here, at some point here, I just decided to make a decision to start putting some trees in. So working on the theory that the trees furthest away are much more muted, I've gone in first of all, and I'm using 2 or 3 different shades here. The first one I'm going in with is I've got the red iron oxide shade, and I'm using that one, and I'm also using, I've got a permanent red extra dark as well, which I'll use. And then for the darker trees, I've got a raw umber extra dark, and I will then go in with a little bit of black later on. And again, red iron oxide extra dark as well. So it's a mix of all those oxidey reddish colours. And what I'm doing is, you can see I'm putting on almost like on the side of my tool, placing it on, pushing it away from me, and sort of just turning the tool as it goes away from me. Not really following the reference photo exactly. It's just like I said, that reference photo is giving me inspiration and a feel for what I want to depict. So I'm just being really careful with my lines. I'm not cutting through, like putting one straight down through the wolf's head or anything. And really, it's like I said at the beginning, this whole piece has been quite organic. And that's the thing with the tutorial. I have an image in my head, and this is kind of the image that I had in my head when I saw this wolf and I wanted to draw it. And I know a couple of people, but I will backtrack on this as well. A couple of people did say, oh, I thought he was going to appear on snow or, you know, something completely different. So in the tutorial, when I do the written tutorial, I will emphasize right at the start, and that's why I've separated this tutorial out from the rest of the video. You don't have to put this background in. This is just a background that I put in. If you want to have a go and have a play, you don't need to recreate it the same as mine, because you're not following a reference photo per se. You're going to be then following my drawing. If you want to pop some trees in though, have a go. But if you want to pop in a blue sky and green grass, if you don't want to put any background in at all, maybe just get him standing on a rock. You don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Or you could put snow falling and then, like, yeah, a little bit of snow on his coat. There's so many options. And I used GIMP, which is like Photoshop, to cut my wolf out of my drawing, give him a transparent background, and I dropped him in on top of this, and then this actual sunrise background, and then I adjusted the size of the sunrise and that background, and I made it larger so that he sat better in the foreground of it. So again, I really would love to see your versions and how you interpret it and what mood and what environment you create for this wolf. So you can see here I've switched now from using my light red oxidey shades to a darker one. It's just a mix of those, raw amber extra dark. I'm going to say we will save some black for later on for the trees closest, but you can already see it starting to give it a little bit of depth. Don't be nervous. I was nervous doing this a little bit, but don't be, just go with it. The worst that can happen is you've just got to go in there and go over it all again with your oranges and that, and just knock the trees out again. Go in with a razor and just lift them all out as well. And same, I did get it to one point where I was quite happy with it, but then I've gone back in and I have added, sorry, I'm obviously doing something at the bottom of the screen here, the camera can't quite fit everything in. I have added later on the extra bit of the branches up in the canopy, but I could have left it, you know, a little bit more simple. I could go back in and add even more of that canopy in as well. Like I say, completely organic and entirely up to you how much you interpret into your own drawing, or how much you, to be honest, just leave out. And he does look stunning actually just on a plain background. So yeah, you do as you choose. There's no right or wrong, and it's all about sort of how far you want to push it. You can see that this works and how easy, hopefully the demonstration shows how easy it is to depict. So looking forward to seeing what you do. So I'm going to drop out here. You can just carry on watching the actual tutorial for now, and I'll pick back up with you in a few minutes. we've got most of the background in now, as you can see. Even though I said, oh, probably just going to put in a muted background, it evolved as things do in art, and the trees did appear. So I've just grabbed literally a pastel pencil here, simply because it's softer. I'm just going in and just extending out some of these branches, just to give it a little bit more intricacy up here. I'm just going to run pastel pencil just up here, just like I say, just giving that woven branch and the canopy effect, just quite quick and loose. Quick looking back at my reference photo. Not following it religiously obviously, because I haven't put in anywhere near as many trees as there were, it's just that hint of trees. A few more over here. So I've just grabbed a Derwent pastel pencil, burnt carmine I've just picked up because it's quite reddish. So again, it's still staying quite soft. It's just making some of these branch lines I popped in with the Pan Pastel, the side of the soft tool, just extending them out, and they go on. I can make slightly finer lines with the pastel pencil than I can with the soft tool. So that's the only reason really. You could go on adding these in pretty much forever. You can really thicken up that background if you wanted to. As I say, we're just going to put in a hint of a few more lines. Quite loose with holding the pencil. I'm also just going to use these pencils just around the bottom here. I know I've used the colour pencils initially, but I can put a little softer layer on with the pastel pencils now down the bottom here. So the colour pencils are quite sharp and precise, whereas the pastel pencils you can go in and be quite soft. So here, just like I say, just create a little bit of pretend foliage around the bottom there. I will, so I'm going to go back to the working on the wolf again next, but then I will probably come forward on here right at the end and just build some of this foliage up that we were dotting in place earlier on. Whilst I'm doing that, I just spotted here, I might just pop a little bit of a highlight on side of this tree, that sun catching there. Light on the side of those trees. Same with this side. Here I am talking away and you can't see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is just cutting in a little bit of a highlight down here. The sun hitting the side of those trees. And same here. A little hint of the sunlight just catching through. There we go. So I'm going to go back to working on my wolf now. So we'll go back up to the top. And now we're all backlit, we can go in finally and start to add a real backlit area up around the head and all that fur surrounding the outer edge of the wolf. So I've got my glassine back in my hand. And I'm just going to grab okay, I've got my white. I also need my black. My polychrome is back. I'll zoom in on my wolf. So as I start add the detail again up around the top here. And where we held back earlier on from not putting in that bright white edge of fur, we can now go in and pop it in. You just have to be careful up here that you're just wiping off your pencil so that you're not, you can do it on the side of your actual paper as well, so if you've got some like a border around the edge of plain pastel mat, they can just use that for cleaning off your nib each time you do a stroke, because you don't want to really be carrying a pastel background over into the white of your fur here. Okay, I've swapped my polychromo white for my Pablo white now. I go up here. Also got my raw umber back up around this top edge. As I say, this is why we didn't take it all the way to completion. It's so we go back in there. I had a vision, a bit of a vision that I was going to pop in that bright sunlit background. So I knew I'd need to come back into this fur at some point, and here we are now doing exactly that, and also this lovely backlit edge. So I'm just reworking pretty much whole outside edge. See, when I can work my way down, I also need to come back in and work the chest area of the wolf. That is still needing to be done. I'll just show how we okay, I'm keeping it quite loose, just working quite fast and loose, and then coming down around the face, clean my pencil off. Hope you can just see that starting to really pull that backlight through. Do the same on this side. I was thinking I might have to go in here with a touch of white pan pastel, but the pencil seems to be doing okay. So keeping all my pencils in my hand, just rotating my way through them. It's almost just like we're tweaking, we're refreshing and sharpening up some of our original pencil lines. Adjusting some contrast, popping in a little bit of colour, a little bit of texture. They're starting to pop forward now off the page. So next we are going in, just starting to lift those highlights over from the leg fur, which are really bright white highlights in there. As you can see, my pencil's going off to the side. I'm using white Pablo again. Pencil's going off to the side, and I'm just cleaning it off each time I pick up some of that orange pigment, because I don't want to be taking the orange pigment back into the white fur of the legs. So just make sure you're cleaning off your pencil all the time, every time you scoop out into that pastel layer, because you don't want to be lifting it back in. Keep your pencils really sharp here as well as you work down through here, because all you're doing in really is putting in a little hint of that fur texture down over the legs, and you want, as long as you've got the dark undertone in there, make sure your white pencil is lovely and sharp, and you should be able to just pretty much draw in all of those lovely white fur lines, and keep your eye on the direction as well of the fur and the way it's curling around that leg. If you see, it comes down and then down across like a 45-degree angle to the right hand corner, bottom right hand corner. Then it flicks up and comes away, almost flicking up towards the top right hand corner. So just keep an eye on the direction of that's the fur on the right leg as you look at it. But so just keep an eye on the direction of all of your pencil strokes compared to the reference photo. And I'm always saying that to you, but keep flicking your eyes backwards and forwards to that reference photo. I know someone did feedback just this week that they've heard me saying to them, keep flicking your eyes back. And then so I did a little demo within a video where I kept, I was trying to keep up with myself of how fast my eyes were going to the reference photo, to the drawing, reference photo to the drawing. And when they watched it, they thought that they'd been, flicking their eyes backwards and forwards quite a lot, but they realised they're nowhere near as much as they needed to be. I think that's partly why my eyes are so tired nowadays. It's because I'm putting them under so much stress, sort of like, flicking my eyes constantly backwards and forwards. They're getting a good workout, the muscles, but obviously it causes quite a bit of eye strain as well. So I'll drop back out again in a second. So just a little reminder, just to keep, keep your pencils sharp and keep cleaning off the nib of that pencil every time you're taking it out into the actual pastel area. So all the background now is in place. I need to pop a little bit more detail in lower down, just a little bit of foliage I'm going to pop in around his feet. Probably just like a hint of some fern down there. Just now before, before I go on to the final scan, I was just going to go back in, just adjust, do any tweaks, add in a little bit of, I'm just going to go in here and just soften some of the edge of this white with a hint of the backlighting of the orange coming through, because obviously the original photo of the wolf was set against quite a dark backlit, quite a white, bright backlit sky through the dark trees. There wasn't this hint of sunrise that I've popped in. So literally just a quick sweep around, just a few little tweaks. Not much at all, to be honest. I'm quite happy with the overall, but I took away the reference photo now, and it is just literally just a quick flick through. Just doing it by eye, but I am pretty happy, like I say, with the overall effect. A little bit hint of the orange backlight through this tail down here as well. Just dip the camera. So sometimes the final tweaks might take you an hour or so, might take you half an hour, might just take just a few minutes, because it's at this point where I could carry on working this, same as any portrait. I could carry on working and working and working it. And to be honest, sometimes I'd rather stop slightly too soon than take it too far, because there's no coming back from taking it too far. If you stop it a little bit early, then, you know, it might sit there for a couple of days then, and I might be able to go back in and just add a few more tweaks. But I am pretty happy. As I say, I always take away the reference photo at the end and just go in and do these last bits by eye. That's why when I say, you know, sort of my work's not photo realistic, and yours, mine varies from the photograph. It gives the effect of the fur, the pose, the character that I'm trying to, the story that I'm trying to put across. So yours will look different to mine, of course, especially if you choose not to follow this bright background that I popped in, if you just leave it as a plain background. Okay, so I think I am pretty much there with the wolf. I'm just going to speed up again quickly whilst I add in the last little bit of foliage around the base of his feet, and then we are done, and I'll just finalise it with popping up the finished scan of the piece. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed doing this one. Like I say, I've broken it down that we do the wolf, you can do your own background, and then, or you can do this background. So I've split the background off from the main tutorial, but it is there. But like I say, I'd be quite happy just to have put a little bit of floor for this one in, and then come back and left the sky either muted, or you can pop a blue sky in there. You can make it, put him on snow and ice, lots of different options. So I'd be really interested to see your variations on this wolf in the foreground. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye bye.